Hey, did you see the MIT study that talked about the state of AI in business in 2025? According to this report, 95% of organizations gain no value from enterprise Gen AI implementation. And if you go to the Gen AI Divide, the State of AI report, on this third page, you will see this executive summary. Despite 30 to 40 billion dollars spent in enterprise investment into Gen AI, the report shows a surprising result that 95% of our organizations are getting zero return. Only 5% of integrated AI pilots are extracting millions in value, while everything else has no value. So it's important to ask ourselves what's going on, and you can read the report, you can try to learn from it, right? That's the purpose of having this conversation. We have to learn from it so that we don't make the same mistakes. Most of us small business owners don't have these types of budgets to waste millions and billions of dollars. Before I go back to give you an analogy that I think explains this, the reason this didn't work well, I'd like to point to the Gartner hype cycle. In any type of technological implementation, you go through a few different stages from hype to reality, right? The first stage is the innovation trigger, or what we call the shiny object phase. Early proof of concept, case studies, and media interest triggers significant publicity. Investors are jumping in. And that was the ChatGPT's viral launch in late 2022. Now, the AI adoption because of ChatGPT's launch was insane. If you compare the AI adoption for ChatGPT compared to the Google, in about a year, ChatGPT achieved what Google took 11 to 13 years. So it's pretty impressive and surprising what happened. But after the right initial trigger, you get all of these inflated expectations from the tools or the technology. This is what we call the magic bullet phase. So early publicity produces a number of success stories, and often these success stories are accompanied by scores of failures. Some companies take actions, many do not. And what we've seen with AI is that a lot of companies have claimed, or a lot of AI experts have claimed, that AI will solve every business problem overnight. But we know that's never the case, right? Any type of hype like that should raise a red flag for people. But there has been a lot of investment, a lot of companies, right, jumping on this AI bandwagon. And what you see, we seem to be in this trough of this disillusionment phase because those case studies did not prove to work as well. That's what the MIT study finds. 95% of AI pilots have failed. This is where we start to get a reality check. But the next stage, right, if we stay with it, is the slope of enlightenment, or what's called the learning phase. This is where we start to see the technology being implemented accurately, businesses discovering specific uses, narrow AI application that actually work, and smart owners are finding practical, focused uses for AI. And then we get to the last stage, the mainstream phase, where a lot of people are adopting it. So why am I referring to this hype cycle? It's super important to know where we are in the cycle of any technological adoption, because you see the money investments, right, following that hype cycle. So what can we learn from this MIT study? If you read the study, you will notice that there's a lot of problem with AI being adopted or bolted on current structures, current businesses. So why is this a problem? Think of taking a Ferrari engine and trying to put it in a horse-drawn carriage. The the Ferrari engine is extremely valuable, really powerful, but if you put it in the wrong vehicle, it's not going to help. That's really what's happened with these AI pilots. When you try to implement something that doesn't fit well with the current structure, you're going to get a lot of failure and a lot of problems. So what you need to do is to build different vehicles. You need to build a vehicle that can use that Ferrari engine and can drive implementation and productivity. It can help the business achieve the right things. So in terms of business structure that we currently see, you can also think back at the example of websites and what the internet led to. When people started to create websites for businesses, they took their brochures, kind of PDFs, and they put them online so that people can find those brochures online. But compared those types of websites, the brochure type websites, to dynamic blogs where people can find things, where you can have forms on them, right? There was a, a a few steps, right, in the adoption of the power of websites from a PDF file to dynamic websites. And now with AI, we have even more opportunities that we need to take advantage of. But we have to be careful not to take, right, a Ferrari engine and put it into the wrong type of vehicle, which is what's happened with these enterprise businesses. And as small business owners, we have to ask ourselves, how can we avoid trying to bolt on AI workflows and actually build departments or build workflows in the business that are AI native, right? Build those AI native sections of the business that work well with everything else, rather than try to bolt the Ferrari engine onto this horse-drawn carriage. That is what we have to do. So we have to ask different types of questions. We have to understand what is the problem, or what was the problem in these failed pilots. One thing we have to start thinking about is the idea of information scarcity versus information abundance. With AI tools, we have information abundance. We have the ability to pull data from a lot of places much faster. We have the ability to process information a lot faster. So how does that change our businesses? Because if we're used to not being able to process information fast, and that's what we build in terms of workflows, when we put a lot of data, information abundance into those workflows, they will break. So that's the first type of question we have to ask. How do we build our businesses if we have access to all of this information pretty quickly, or if we have the tool that can process a lot of information quickly? I hope this encourages you to start thinking about AI adoption slightly differently, because it's important to take advantage and not try to bolt AI on the wrong types of workflows, the wrong type of businesses.